Is this what your Thanksgiving looks like?
How are you doing? Good. How are you? Good. How are you? Good. How are you? Good. How are you?
How to avoid this on today's Think Share.
Gobble gobble.
Hello and welcome to the Think Share. My name's Zach. I'm here to bring to you what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to that doesn't belong in math class. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Today's Thanksgiving, and one of the things that I think a lot of people are going to struggle with out there is they're going to family events where they're seeing people that they don't necessarily have anything in common with besides their blood. I think sometimes we struggle to come up with common ground to talk with people, so I wanted to give a couple different things you can talk about with your family when you haven't seen them in a while, besides how's work going, how are the kids doing, how about them Red Sox, how about them Patriots. I feel like these are a lot of the same kind of cliche dialogues that happen at family seasonal events, and I wanted to introduce a couple other questions you could try out. Let me know in the comments if you end up using them and how you end up using them. So here's the first one. It's Thanksgiving. You can always ask what you're thankful for. Usually you get like the better version of what that person is up to. And I know personally I'm always thankful for a lot of things, and that can be like a Pandora's box of things to talk about. But I think you really get a better sense of what the person's life is like, and that can oftentimes lead to a great conversation off of that. Sometimes we don't want to bring up politics at the Thanksgiving table when we all want to be thankful for each other, and sometimes politics obviously has a great way of getting in between us and no longer allowing us to really enjoy each other's company, and we get left with a sour taste in our mouth. And that's how families get separated, is people don't get invited back to holidays in the future. And I've heard about stories from my students and from other friends and family that's how those things happen. Hey, if you're still watching right now, I want to see if we can get 15 likes on this video. Here's the second one. What have you been thinking about lately? If you're thinking about this question, it's not just what have you been up to. It's not what are you thinking about right now, but what have you been thinking about lately? And if we think about that question specifically, offers an opportunity for people to consider what has been on their mind lately, almost like what have they been dealing with lately, and it could be in a bad way, it could be in a good way, but I think it appeals to the very human part of that person, because everyone's been thinking about something lately, and it gives a good opportunity for them to really talk about whatever the heck it is that they want to talk about, and you just opened up their opportunity to do that. Sometimes I know I want to talk about things at the Thanksgiving table that turn out to be like kind of bragging. And if someone were to ask me that, I would have the kind of right to talk about it, and it probably wouldn't come off as braggy. People probably want to share stuff all the time, but they don't know how to bring it up, or they don't really care to. But you can open up the valve for that if you want. Here's my last one, is the bucket goals list kind of questions. So sometimes it feels weird. Hey, do you have a bucket list? Let's talk about that. It doesn't work out so well. But you could say, hey, have you been working on any of your bucket list items lately? Maybe you've talked with them about goals or bucket list before. That's a great opportunity. If you haven't, think about some things on your bucket list. Is, hey, I just wrote a bucket list recently and it was pretty interesting. Have you ever written one? And then talk about what their lifelong dreams are. And it's interesting to talk with people in different generations about this. You'll end up hearing some interesting life advice from people that you may or may not want to hear it from. And you might hear some really interesting wisdom that you did not know is coming from a certain family member. Hope this is useful for those of you that are going to family events and not sure how to start conversations. I hope you end up using one of these tools. Leave me in the comments if you end up using it. For my Irish friends out there, what do you have a similar holiday to Thanksgiving? If you enjoyed this, I invite you to subscribe. If you want more and you want notifications for when I come out with a new video every day, hit the bell. Thank you for watching. Stay weird. Happy Thanksgiving.